Hi everybody, today, hot on the heels of Ant's first ever experience of a Range Rover, at the wheel of the lovely original generation L320 Range Rover Sport with its superb 5-litre supercharged V8, he's now switching it up a bit and going to be experiencing the slightly later L405 full-fat Range Rover, a car that I currently believe to be one of the greatest bargains in the automotive world.
And normally James would come with me on this drive, but he saw me enjoying the Sport 320 so much that he got a bit jealous, so he's going to be taking that out for a drive and making a video for JayEmm on Cars, and I'm going to take you with me so you can see what I think of this instead.
Look after them, won't you?
I will. I think they might need to look after me. Let's go. Okay, I'm confused. What's going on? I am in a Range Rover again. I mean, this doesn't make any sense. I've always been into low-slung sports cars. I don't think I've owned anything with more than 2 seats for about 18 years now. Actually, not strictly true. I did kind of accidentally acquire a 4-seater very recently, but there's a whole story behind that over on the Sports and Touring channel. But here I am, sitting high up, looking down on everyone. I mean, literally looking down on everyone, not figuratively. Although I'm sure there's a stereotype about Range Rover drivers looking down on people. And I'm confused because if you don't know me, I generally just don't get on with luxury cruisers. I am just bored by them. They don't engage me, they don't interest me. Even if I'm on a long motorway drive, I'd much rather be in a sports car. I know it sounds stupid. Some people say I'm the automotive equivalent of a masochist, but it's just my preference. I think one of my favorite drives ever on the motorway was actually in a Caterham 170S. The video for that is over on Sports and Touring, of course. But this is just a whole different thing. And you know, I think as I get older, well, I'm already in my 50s, so I should like these cars, but as I get older, maybe I'll start to appreciate riding around in this level of comfort. Now, compared to the L320, this is another thing altogether. It's more modern, it's much more luxurious inside, and the suspension is set up for it to be, well, comfortable. A weird thing happened when I was driving the Range Rover Sport, the L320, and that was that I started to like it.
You've changed. Something tells me that you're warming to this car.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Everything's fine. So I thought, well, look, let me just try a more of a, you know, as James calls it, full-fat Range Rover experience, like this one. This is the L405. This is the 4.4 litre V8 turbo diesel, apparently made by Ford. And this particular car is just pure luxury. I mean, this is kind of how I would imagine it would feel driving around in a luxury Rolls Royce or a Bentley. Although actually the last Bentley I drove had a pretty sporty suspension, which really surprised me. And I liked it. And in fact, that's probably why I did like it, because of how sporty its suspension was. But this is another thing. Honestly, it's just like such a nice place to be, especially in this spec. You know, the black Range Rover with the cream and black leather interior. I could just imagine driving along, sipping on a cup of coffee, probably some extraordinarily long-winded name like a skinny caramel oatmeal latte or something like that, feeling like I'm the king of the world. And the place that I actually think about using this car isn't in the countryside where we are now. It's actually more like in places in London. And the reason for that is one of the worst things about London and other cities in general is speed bumps. I mean, first of all, they're terrible for the environment because they make people slow down and speed up. They're just pretty good for making sure that people do slow down, especially if you're in a low-slung sports car. In fact, one of my cars, I pretty much have to creep over every speed bump. In this, you could drive over the speed bump and not even notice it was there. I mean, the suspension is so supple, so compliant, it literally feels like I'm driving around, in fact, floating around on a sofa. And I think that is the reason why you would want to get this car. If you have to do a lot of miles, I mean, a lot of miles, I don't. This is the thing. This is why I quite like sports car experiences, because I don't do big miles on a regular basis. I tend to go out a couple of times a week, usually to film, and that's it. So those couple of times a week, I want to drive something that really really engages me because it makes the drive to my location as much of an event as whatever is happening at that location. So maybe it's just my circumstances that have resulted in me having a general preference for sporty vehicles, and even my saloons have been low slung and generally lowered on some sort of suspension upgrade. And if things were different, if I had a lot of miles to do every day and I wanted to really just chill, relax, take life easy, I can imagine this being the kind of car that I'd like to do it in. So if you are thinking about buying something like this, what are some of the things that you have to think about? Well, honestly, there's plenty of room for just about everything that you'd want, whether it's kids, prams, shopping, you name it. Now, I don't have those practical concerns because my son's all grown up. He's in his 20s, he's very independent. I don't do the Sunday shop because, hey, it's 2025. Why do you go to the supermarket when you can just order everything to be delivered? So, what would I use this car for? Well, I can think of one of the things I'd use it for, and that's transporting car parts, getting those back seats down and shoving some car parts in the back that I picked up to upgrade one of my cars, or help my son pick up car parts. He's always upgrading his cars, so why not? But since this car isn't a car that I would consider for myself, I suppose I should probably help you decide if it's something for you. So if what you're looking for is lots of room, relatively affordable to buy, and extraordinary comfort, this particular model is for you. It is absolutely stunning, and the design of this particular generation is modern, and I think probably one of the better looking of all the Range Rovers, even the more recent ones. So what else do you have to think about? Well, running it. And let's face it, Range Rovers aren't exactly renowned for being the most reliable cars. So there's going to be a few things that you might want to look out for. I did a little bit of research just to see, well, look, if I was going to buy one of these, what are the kinds of things that I'd probably want to be looking for? So now one of the things that can go is a rear wheel hub and bearing. Now you'll know that there's something wrong there by the sound of a particular grinding or sort of rumbling noise coming from one of the rear corners. I don't think it's hugely expensive to fix, but it is something to be wary of. The same problem can occur on the front as well. Now, another consideration is the suspension. Now, the air suspension on this is absolutely fantastic. It's got a couple of different settings in here, including an easier access mode. So when you stop, you can press that button and it drops the car right down. You can't drive it at that ride height, but it is there to help you get in and out, particularly if you're slightly shorter. It also provides an incredible ride. I really can't emphasize how comfortable the ride is on this car, and it seems to be controlling the roll of the car so that you feel completely stable in the corners despite floating on the road like you're literally riding on air. Unfortunately, when things are a little more complicated, it has more things to go wrong, and this is one of the issues that can occur with these cars. The airbag suspension can become an issue. That could be as simple as a leak in one of the airbags, or it could be more serious. Another issue that can arise, apparently, is the diesel particulate filter. Now that can get blocked. Now that's not necessarily because of anything specific to this car. The way that diesel particulate filter works is that it kind of funnels off the particles into a container area, and then periodically it tries to burn that off when it has the opportunity to do so. So once you're driving at a high enough speed for there to be enough combustion and enough heat that it can burn off, it kind of vents some of the particles, they get burnt off and destroyed in the process. That's the passive burn off process. There's an active burn off process that can occur that if it hasn't worked for a while, when the car is maybe in lower revs like now, what it might then do is it might then decide to bring the heat up, burn off those particles. And one of the reported issues is that sometimes people will not realize that that's happening and turn the car off whilst it's mid-process. And then that can end up resulting in them getting blocked. Beyond that, with the diesel, there's also potential issues with the turbo and potential issues with the sort of AdBlue system. Now, fortunately, this car is very well sorted. And you'd expect it to be, because this belongs to Christian at Heel & Toe. Heel & Toe Cars on Instagram are a dealership. This car isn't for sale, however they do have a number of other vehicles for sale, including Range Rovers. This is Christian's personal car, the owner of Heel & Toe Cars. And of course I should therefore say a very special thank you to Christian for letting me drive his car. So if it was me, I would probably be thinking about buying one of these from a dealer so that you've got some like reasonable kind of warranty cover with the car. And it could be an independent dealer. Either way, you'd still get an interim warranty just under the Consumer Rights Act in the UK. I'd also consider getting an inspection done by an independent specialist, even from something like the RAC or the AA. That would be better than nothing. And the reason why I would want to do that is because I wouldn't be buying this car as a Range Rover enthusiast. I'd be buying it as a workhorse, as something that I need to be able to get me to and from my destination in comfort and of course style every single day without fail. And I really, really wouldn't want it to be breaking down on a regular basis. So I'd want to make sure that I could see that either in the history of the car or via an inspection that most of the major issues that could have arisen have already been addressed. And even if they haven't been sorted because they haven't gone wrong yet, making sure that you've had that inspection will let you know if there's any sign of those things about to go. I want trouble-free motoring. If I'm in this car, it's not for fun. I don't mind if my sports car is down for a few weeks or even a couple of months if need be, because it's not my main car. It's not the thing that's getting me from A to B. Speaking of getting from point A to point B in comfort and style, another thing this has is a bit of oomph. Oh, this is the kind of stuff it's made for. Woo! Oh, I shouldn't be enjoying this. I'm not supposed to enjoy it. Stop enjoying it. Oh God, I might want one now. You know, it's a bit laggy on the kick down, but it's actually good enough. It's enough power. It's enough power to get you along the road or get you past a lorry on a motorway without problem. It's not blisteringly quick, but it gets the job done. So would I buy this car? Well, no, but not because there's anything wrong with the car, just because I just don't do the journeys that would justify it. And the style of driving that I most enjoy doesn't involve this level of comfort. It is like a sofa with a steering wheel. But if I was doing big miles on a regular basis and I wanted to do so in comfort, this is a very good car. Now, I think James is trying to convince me that there's more to life than sports and supercars. I think he's trying to get me to widen my my options, my choices in cars, and my appreciation for other types of cars, like big old bruisers like this. And genuinely, I do appreciate it. It is so comfortable. And whilst I like this car, my true love is sports and supercars. But that shouldn't stop you from wanting this car. Honestly, it is something. Anyway, thank you for joining JayEmm and then the friend. Make sure you do check out our podcast, The Radiator Arms, on this very channel every Monday morning from 7 AM, where you can listen to me, James, and our friend Will talk cars and other related things. I'll leave you to go and check that out right after you hit the like and the subscribe button. Bye-bye.